Bryan Cranston has come full circle. Long before he made a name for himself with Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle, Cranston did voice work which included voicing some of the monsters during the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. More than 2 decades later, he's moving up in the world, graduating from monster voice to talking head in a jar. It was announced this week that Cranston will be playing Zordon, the Power Rangers' disembodied mentor. Let the memes begin. Bad news for Star Trek Axanar. A month ago it seemed that things were finally moving forward for the self-proclaimed Star Trek fan film, with J.J. Abrams and Justin Lin publicly announcing that the lawsuit against Axanar Productions had been dropped. And yet, not only does the lawsuit still appear to be pushing forward, but CBS and Paramount have gone ahead and released official guidelines for fan-created productions. Along with common sense provisions about not making things for profit and using all the proper disclaimers, the guidelines also dictate that fan productions can be no longer than 2 15-minute segments, effectively shutting down movies and ongoing series. The guidelines also limit the amount of funding for a segment to $50,000 and prohibit the use of paid actors and crew. Also prohibited are actors who have worked on official Star Trek productions, which is something of an issue for Star Trek Renegades, a fan series directed by Tim Russ, who reprises his role as Tuvok for the project. As a result, Renegades has already rebranded itself to continue on as an independent work. As for Axanar, it's unclear what producer Alex Peters will do with the project, but the new guidelines seem tailor-made to cripple the Axanar movie, so it's unlikely that the lawsuit against him will go away anytime soon. Moving on to movies that are properly licensed, Funimation is bringing a trilogy of live-action Rurouni Kenshin movies to a theater in your general regional area. The limited release will begin with Rurouni Kenshin Origins, hitting theaters from August 8th to 10th. The second movie, Kyoto Infernal, will play from September 12th to the 14th, and the trilogy will conclude with The Legend Ends, playing from October 3rd through 5th. In the meantime, hitting theaters this week is The Purge: Election Year. If you're tired of a world where political demigods stay in power by appealing to the worst nature of the masses, then turn off CNN and go to the movies to watch somebody actually try to do something about it. But if that's too fantastical for you, there's always The Legend of Tarzan. Starring Alexander Skarsgård, everybody's favorite sculpted Swede swings from vines, jumps from very high places, and fights everybody on his quest to save Harley Quinn. Next up, Disney's The BFG. No, this movie is not about a gun. Based on the book by Roald Dahl and directed by Steven Spielberg, this is the story of a little girl and her adventures with a big, friendly giant. And finally, Satanic. When a group of stupid teens perform a satanic ritual in a haunted hotel room, the obvious happens. But hey, if watching an angry spirit scare attractive young people ever got old, they'd stop making these kind of movies. Hitting TV this week, Season 2 of Dark Matter starts on Sci-Fi on July 1st, and wait a second, Sci-Fi has space shows? And since there really isn't much coming out this week for PC, how about some recommendations for cheap games on Steam Summer Sale? If you like Metroidvania-style gameplay and aren't afraid of dying, Rogue Legacy is the best $3 you can spend this week. Every time you die, your descendant, who may or may not be challenged by a series of birth defects, takes up the task of conquering the castle, getting a little further for the sake of the next generation. If you want the maximum bang for your buck, Sanctum is the first-person shooter/tower defense game and one of the most addicting games I've ever encountered. Also worth picking up is Sanctum 2, which changes the mechanics a bit, leaning more towards the shooting side of things than its predecessor. Getting both games will run you a whole $5, which is a crazy amount of potential hours of gameplay per dollar. If more straightforward tower defense is your jam, Defense Grid: The Awakening is one of the best entries in the genre. The base game is only $2.50, but go ahead and spend the extra $2.50 for the DLC bundle, which includes a Portal-themed series of maps. And speaking of Portal, while I'm not sure you can even make a Steam account these days without automatically getting the game, just in case you haven't, at $2 you really don't have an excuse. Likewise, Portal 2 is on sale for $5 and well worth the investment. Also coming in at $5, Batman Arkham City is the high point of the Arkham franchise and one of the best Batman experiences out there. It may be a little too reliant on beat-em-up gameplay for my taste, but that's okay because there's still plenty of stealth action. And speaking of stealth action, with their sequels fast approaching, now is the time for you to get your hands on Deus Ex: Human Revolution and Dishonored: The Director's Cut. Each game is going for $5 right now, and either one is a great choice if you're looking for some first-person stealth action. Wrapping things up with this week's CGBros video, we have Rupee Run by Turin Locke. And finally, if you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, check out Max Landis as he shares his dream of a Ninja Turtles movie.
This is gonna be the dorkiest thing, maybe on my YouTube channel, and that you know there's stiff competition for that.
That's everything for this week. So what do you think about the new guidelines for Star Trek fan films? Too far, or should we be happy that Paramount allows anything at all? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, pass this video around to your friends, and have a great week.